Hey everyone, welcome aboard. Today I'm going to be making what easily could have been my first video, the first step in becoming a boater, learning how to tie a cleat hitch. Now I'm going to show you how to tie the perfect cleat hitch right away, just in case you're standing on a dock and your boat's starting to float away. But if you are interested, I will show you the reasons behind why it's the perfect cleat hitch afterwards, as well as some ways not to tie it. Ignoring the positioning of the dock lines for a later video, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure the vessel is stationary and not in gear. Lines under tension can be dangerous and could take off fingers. Once that's been accomplished, wrap the cleat around the inside, farthest part of the hitch to maintain tension. Then you'll wrap the line halfway around the cleat to the opposite side, which maintains that tension and transfers the weight of the vessel from your hands to the cleat itself. As you continue to tie the hitch, you'll feel the line become easier to handle. Next, you'll start your figure eight by bringing the line back up around, over the top, and to the opposite side of the farthest part of the cleat. You will continue on this figure eight one more time until you get to the top, where you'll create a loop by putting one part of the line under the other, hooking it around the side of the cleat, and pulling tight. As the loop begins to snug, it locks the line in place. You'll know you did this correctly when you have two parallel lines and the end of the line in the same direction as the one attached to the vessel. At this time, you have a completed hitch. If the final loop at the end is difficult for you to get the hang of at first, you can always feed the bitter end of the line back through itself after completing the final loop and pulling it all the way tight. Just be sure to only do this when the boat is safely stationary. The locking loop at the end is the most dangerous part of tying the cleat, and you don't want to get your fingers or anything else caught in it when it cinches tight. And if you're on a busy dock with a lot of foot traffic and you're worrying about your hitch coming loose, you can double up the last locking loop for a little bit of peace of mind. However, while your hitch is not likely to come undone, doing this second loop can create some play in the first loop and add a little bit of wiggle room of the line around the cleat. When it's time to head back out on the water again, you can easily undo this hitch by lifting up on the top line and undoing it until you're free. A combination of its holding strength and its purposeful ability to become untied is what makes it the perfect cleat hitch. Now, here's a quick 2 tips on technique to make sure that you don't end up losing any fingers while tying this hitch. When you're initially starting your hitch and you're holding the tension line, try your best to keep the palm of your hand towards the cleat and not your fingers. This way, if a wake or wind comes and pulls the boat away from the dock, when you get pulled towards the cleat, your hand hits it instead of all your fingers going through. Secondly, when creating the final locking loop, keep your fingers out of the loop itself, just in case it pulls tight around the cleat. Now for those interested, I'll explain why this is the best way to tie a cleat hitch and why other methods don't yield the same results. Oh, and also, if you've liked this video so far, please like and subscribe. It's free and it does directly benefit me. And if you like this one, then I'm sure I have some other videos that you might also like, so go ahead and check those out too. The main reason why this is the perfect cleat hitch is because of the parallel lines running together over the top. The lines together create friction against each other, keeping them from moving. And the earlier part of the locking loop lays over the top of them, maintaining pressure so it doesn't slip. The tighter the line is pulled in either direction, the harder the locking loop grips onto itself. Now I'm going to show you examples of cleat hitches that I see every day that are horrible. And while they may be alright on a calm day, they're no good. Surprise! It's JakeSea number 2. I just wanted to say real quick that all of these photos I took within 20 feet of where I filmed this video. So if you haven't gotten the hang of the perfect cleat hitch yet, don't worry, you're not the only one. Just keep practicing. If you've already mastered this hitch and don't want to confuse your memory anymore, then there really is no reason to watch the rest of this video. But you should, because you can recognize if you made any of these common mistakes. Starting with putting the line on the wrong side of the cleat. If you put the line on the wrong side of the cleat, then as the boat moves, the line moves, and it can slip off and chafe. Enough of this will wear through the line, as well as not keep the boat tightly secured to the cleat. Then we have the classic coiled snake. Wrapping the line at the beginning of the hitch more than halfway around the bottom of the cleat yields bad results. It wears on the line where they intersect, harming the line itself, as well as pinching the lines together in a way that makes it difficult and dangerous to undo. Next, we have the infinite figure eight maneuver, where you just continue to wrap the line all the way around the cleat in figure eights, and then you leave it. This ends up never getting a locking loop and never becomes a hitch, and over time it will loosen and eventually just come undone. And last but not least, you have the infamous reverse locking loop. This is an easy mistake for beginners and is often misleading because it makes you feel like you completed the hitch. Instead of creating the proper loop where the lines run parallel with each other, you accidentally do the loop the reverse direction and end up with just a tangled mess. You can tell because this line comes across wrong, and this one that used to be part of your figure eight now hangs over flat. It appears that the vessel was secured properly with a hitch. However, the loop crosses itself perpendicularly, and this does not provide the strength and grip that the parallel lines do. Instead, it only touches at a very small point and creates chafing. So, with the worst hitch I can possibly imagine now made, you can see the difference. So thanks for watching. Remember that lines under tension are dangerous. Make sure to always have the boat safely stationary before you go ahead and tie a cleat hitch, and smooth sailing.